Hello guys. Have you ever been kind? It will lead you to a good path in life. Please find out what happened at the end. Daniel was a very rich man. He was the CEO of a big company in Lagos. People called him Boss Daniel. He had many workers, many cars, and lived in a big house. But something was missing in his life: happiness. Daniel had a son named Joseph. Joseph was a quiet and gentle boy. He was born blind. His mother died while giving birth to him, and Daniel never got over that pain. Every time he looked at Joseph, he remembered his wife. Even though Daniel was rich, his heart was empty. He worked all day and all night. He thought that money would fill the space in his heart, but it didn't. Joseph always stayed with the nanny or played quietly alone with his toy piano. One day, Daniel sat in his office and looked at a photo of his late wife. He sighed deeply. "I miss you," he whispered. "Our son is growing. He needs love, not just money." Daniel decided he would spend more time with Joseph. "This Sunday, no work," he said. "I will take my son out. Just me and him." Joseph smiled when he heard the plan. Though he could not see, he could feel his father's love in his voice. After Joseph was born, life in Daniel's mansion changed. The laughter of his wife was gone. Her voice, her cooking, her sweet songs, all were memories now. The big house became too quiet. Even the workers noticed it. Joseph was a special boy. He was born blind, but he had a sharp mind. He could hear footsteps and know who was coming. He could smell food and tell what was cooking. He never complained about being blind. He just wanted love. Daniel loved his son, but he did not know how to show it. Most of the time, he was busy with work meetings, calls, emails. He bought expensive toys and clothes for Joseph, but Joseph didn't care about those things. He just wanted to talk to his father. The nanny, Auntie Rose, did her best. She read books to Joseph and told him bedtime stories. But she was not his mother. And Joseph could feel it. Sometimes at night, Joseph would whisper, "Mummy, where are you?" But there was no answer. Daniel knew his son was lonely, but he did not know how to fix it. His heart was full of pain too. Every time he looked at Joseph, he saw his wife's face. It hurt too much, so he stayed busy at work, trying to forget. But no matter how rich or powerful a man is, he cannot run away from love. Daniel slowly started to understand that money can't raise a child. Only love can. One evening, Daniel stood at Joseph's bedroom door. The boy was playing his toy piano, smiling softly. Daniel watched for a long time. Then he walked in and sat beside him. "Do you like music, Joseph?" he asked. Joseph nodded. "Yes, Daddy. It makes me feel I'm not alone." Daniel's heart melted. He knew he had to change. He had to be there for his son, not just in name, but with his time and presence. That was when he decided to take Joseph out on Sunday. A father-son day. No calls. No office. Just love. Sunday morning came. The sun was shining, and the birds were singing. Daniel woke up early, full of energy. For the first time in many months, he was not going to work. He was going out with Joseph. He knocked on Joseph's door gently. "Good morning, my boy," he said with a smile. "Good morning, Daddy," Joseph answered, sitting up happily. "Are we going out today?" "Yes, just you and me. I already told Auntie Rose to rest today. We'll have fun, okay?" Joseph nodded, holding his white cane. "I'm ready." Daniel helped him dress: blue jeans, white shirt, and clean shoes. He even brushed Joseph's hair with his own hands. Then he held Joseph's hand, and they walked to the car. Daniel's driver smiled when he saw them. "Where to, sir?" the driver asked. "Take us to the restaurant at Victoria Island. The one by the water," Daniel replied. The car moved through the busy Lagos streets. Daniel kept talking to Joseph, telling him what they passed: yellow buses, tall buildings, women selling fruits. Joseph laughed. "I wish I could see it." "You don't need to see to feel beauty," Daniel said. "You are beautiful already, my son." They reached the restaurant, and a waiter helped them to a nice table outside. The air was fresh, and the sound of the ocean waves was peaceful. Daniel ordered rice, chicken, and juice. Joseph tasted the food. "It is delicious. I'm glad you like it," Daniel smiled. Just then, Daniel's phone rang. It was an emergency call from the office. One of his top clients was about to cancel a big deal. Daniel stood up. "Joseph, I need to make a quick call. I will be back soon. Stay right here, okay?" Joseph nodded. "Okay, Daddy." Daniel walked away, talking on the phone. Minutes passed. Then more minutes. Then an hour. Joseph waited patiently. He touched the table, held his cane, and listened to people's footsteps. But his father did not return. Joseph sat at the table, waiting quietly. His food was almost finished, and his juice was empty. He held his cane and listened to the sounds around him: cars passing, people laughing, plates clinking. But still, his father didn't come back. Minutes turned into an hour. Then another. Daniel had rushed into his car to go to the office and completely forgot about Joseph. The call had confused him, and he did not remember until it was too late. Joseph did not cry. He just sat there, calm but unsure. "Daddy," he whispered. But there was no answer. A few customers noticed the small boy sitting alone. Some looked at him with pity. One man asked, "Are you okay, little boy?" Joseph replied softly, "My daddy went to make a call. He said he would come back." People shook their heads. "Poor child," they murmured. Just then, a young woman named Lucy came out from the small food corner beside the restaurant. She sold local food: beans, yam, and paper outside the main building. She saw Joseph and walked closer. "Hello, my dear," she said kindly. "Are you alone?" Joseph turned his head toward her voice. "Yes, Ma, my daddy left me here. He said he'll come back, but I think he forgot." Lucy's heart broke. She could see he was blind and confused. She sat beside him and gave him a bottle of cold water. "What is your name?" she asked. "Joseph," he answered. "Don't worry, Joseph. You are not alone now. I will take care of you." She packed her things and gently held his hand. "Let go. I will take you to my house. When your daddy comes tomorrow, we'll find him." Joseph followed her without fear. Her voice was soft and full of love. He felt safe. That night, Joseph slept in Lucy's small house in a poor area of Lagos. It was not fancy like his father's mansion, but it was full of peace. Lucy gave him food, bathed him, and told him a bedtime story. For the first time in a long while, Joseph slept smiling. Lucy's house was very small. It had only one room, a tiny kitchen, and a wooden door. The walls were old, and the floor was bare. But it was clean, neat, and full of warmth. That night, it felt like a palace to Joseph. Lucy prepared a soft mat and laid a clean wrapper on it. "Come and lie down, Joseph," she said with a smile. "You'll be safe here." Joseph nodded and sat on the mat. "Thank you, Auntie." She brought him some warm food: yam porridge with a little fish. He ate slowly, enjoying every bite. "It is very sweet," he said happily. "I made it with love," Lucy replied. After eating, she wiped his hands, gave him a cup of warm water, and helped him change into a clean shirt. Then she told him a story about a lion who became friends with a mouse. Joseph laughed. "That story is funny." Lucy smiled. "You have a good heart. I can feel it." When Joseph laid his head to sleep, Lucy sat by his side and hummed a soft lullaby. Soon, the boy was fast asleep. Lucy looked at his face. He looked so peaceful, so innocent. What kind of father forgets a child like this? She wondered. But she didn't judge. She only hoped that whoever his father was, he would come back soon. Outside, Lagos was noisy with night sounds: okay as passing, generators humming, music playing in the distance. But inside Lucy's house, everything was calm. That night, Lucy prayed. "God, please protect this child. Let his father find him tomorrow. And let peace come to this little boy." She covered him with a cloth, turned off the lantern, and lay beside him. Even in her poverty, Lucy had something more powerful than money: love and kindness. It was almost midnight when Daniel finished his emergency business meeting. He was tired, but the deal was saved. He got into his car and told the driver, "Let us go home." As the car drove through the quiet Lagos roads, Daniel closed his eyes. Then suddenly his eyes flew open. "Joseph!" he shouted. The driver nearly hit the brakes. "Sir!" Daniel's hands began to shake. "I left Joseph at the restaurant. Oh my God, I forgot my own son." Panic filled his heart. He pulled out his phone and dialed the restaurant's number again and again, but nobody picked up. The place had closed. He shouted, "Turn around. Drive back to the restaurant now." The driver turned without question. They sped back through the streets. By the time they reached the restaurant, the chairs were stacked, and the lights were off. The whole place was empty. Daniel jumped out of the car and ran to the gate. My son was here. He's blind. Have you seen him?" he asked the security man. The man shook his head. We closed hours ago. I saw a woman take a small boy away. She looked like a food seller. Daniel nearly collapsed. He held his head. What have I done? I forgot my own child. Tears rolled down his face. The great CEO, the man who controlled millions, was now crying in the dark like a helpless father. He sat on the pavement and whispered, "Please God, let my boy be safe." That night, Daniel could not sleep. He searched the streets. He asked people. He told the police. He even promised rewards. But no one knew where Joseph was. He went home to an empty mansion. The silence was louder than ever. He sat on Joseph's bed and held his toy piano. "I'm so sorry, my son," he whispered. "I will find you. I will never leave you again." He did not sleep that night. His heart was full of fear, guilt, and pain. Next morning, the sun rose over Lagos, bright and full of promise. Inside Lucy's small house, Joseph woke up with a smile. "Auntie Lucy," he called softly. "Yes, my dear," Lucy answered, already boiling water for Pap. "I slept very well. I'm glad," she said, handing him a wet towel to clean his face. "You are strong. Even without your eyes, your spirit is full of light." Joseph laughed. "You are very kind." Lucy dressed Joseph in a clean shirt and helped him hold his cane. "We are going back to the restaurant today. Maybe your daddy will come looking for you." Joseph nodded. "Okay." She packed some of her food, fried yam and akara, and held Joseph's hand. Together, they walked to the bus stop. She paid the fare and helped him into the bus. Everyone inside watched them curiously. Some people whispered, "That woman is kind." When they reached the restaurant area, Lucy led Joseph to the exact spot he had sat the day before. She sat beside him. "Don't worry, Joseph," she said gently. "If your father is a good man, he will come back." Joseph turned his face toward the wind. "I believe he will." They waited. Meanwhile, Daniel had not slept. He wore a plain shirt and jeans, not his usual suit. His eyes were red. As soon as the sun came out, he drove straight to the restaurant. When he arrived, he ran toward the table. There, sitting quietly with a smile, was Joseph, and beside him, the young lady with bright eyes in a humble dress. Daniel stopped and stared. His heart jumped. "Joseph!" he cried. Joseph turned his head. "Daddy!" Daniel ran and dropped to his knees. He hugged his son tightly, tears pouring from his eyes. "My son, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I didn't mean to leave you. I was scared, I was confused." Joseph smiled. "I knew you would come." Lucy stood and watched quietly. Daniel looked up at her. Their eyes met. "Are you the one who took care of him?" She nodded. "Yes. He was alone. I couldn't leave him." Daniel stood and held her hands. "God bless you. I don't know what I would have done if anything happened to him." "It is okay," Lucy said softly. "He's a sweet boy. He was very brave." After the emotional reunion, Daniel asked Lucy, "Please, can we sit down and talk?" She nodded, and the three of them sat together at the restaurant table. Daniel called the waiter and ordered breakfast for everyone. But he made sure to also order Lucy's local food from her spot nearby. "I want to taste the food that fed my son," he said with a gentle smile. Lucy smiled shyly. "It is just simple yam and akara." "But it was made with love," Daniel replied. Joseph sat happily, eating with both hands. "Daddy, Auntie Lucy's food is very sweet." Daniel looked at Lucy with deep respect. "You did not have to help. You don't even know us. But you did. You took my son home, bathed him, fed him, and gave him peace. How can I ever repay you?" Lucy looked down. "I did not do it for reward. I just followed my heart." Daniel nodded slowly. "Still, I want to do something." "Tell me, Lucy, what do you do for a living?" "I sell food here at the junction," she replied. "That is what I have been doing for the past 5 years. Just me and my small table." Daniel leaned forward. "Would you like a bigger shop somewhere better, where more people can enjoy your food?" Lucy looked surprised. I have always dreamed of that. But I don't have that kind of money." Daniel smiled. "I do. And I want to support you. Not because you helped my son, but because you deserve it." Tears welled in Lucy's eyes. "Thank you, sir. I don't even know what to say." "Call me Daniel," he said warmly. From that moment, things began to change. They laughed together, talked more, and ate like old friends. Joseph held both their hands and said, "This is my best day ever." That morning, Daniel told his driver to take Lucy home safely while he took Joseph to the hospital for a checkup. But as he watched her walk away, something strange stirred in Daniel's heart. It was not just gratitude. It was something deeper. Later that week, Daniel could not stop thinking about Lucy. Her kindness, her simplicity, her smile, it all stayed in his heart. He decided to visit her. He asked his driver, "Do you remember the road to that lady's house?" "Yes, sir," the driver nodded. "The same place where we picked her after breakfast." "Good. Take me there." When they arrived, Daniel stepped out of the car. It was a quiet street with small houses and narrow paths. Children played outside, and old women sat under trees. He carried a small bag with gifts, some food items, a nice wrapper, and a white envelope. Lucy came out of her room when she heard the car. She was shocked to see Daniel standing in front of her small house. "Sir, you are here. Call me Daniel," he said with a smile. "I came to visit. I wanted to see where the angel who saved my son lives." Lucy laughed shyly. "It is not much, but please come in." Inside was neat and welcoming. The same room where Joseph had slept now had a small table with a jug of water and 2 plastic chairs. Daniel sat down and looked around. "It is small, but it feels peaceful here." Lucy offered him a drink. He accepted and placed the bag on her table. "What is?" she asked. "Just a few things to say thank you," he replies. She opened the bag slowly and gasped. "This is too much." "No, it is not," Daniel said firmly. "You gave my son love. That is priceless." Then he handed her the envelope. "This is for your food business. Use it to get a small shop. Start something better." Lucy hesitated. "I don't know what to say." "Thank you." Daniel smiled again. "Don't thank me. Thank your heart." They sat and talked for a long time. Lucy told him about her life, how she lost her parents, how she struggled, and how she never gave up. Daniel listened carefully. He was touched by her strength. Her story reminded him of his own journey before success. When he stood to leave, he looked around again and said, "You may be poor, Lucy, but you are very rich in heart." Lucy smiled, tears in her eyes. "And you are kind for seeing it." Daniel got back into his car and waved goodbye. As they drove away, his heart beat a little faster. This woman had touched his soul. And he was not going to forget her. After that visit, Daniel and Lucy began to see each other more often. Their friendship grew like a gentle river flowing steadily. Daniel would sometimes stop by Lucy's food stand during his busy days, bringing small gifts like fruits or new cooking pots. Lucy would laugh and say, "You spoil me too much, Daniel." One afternoon, while Joseph played nearby with other children, Daniel asked Lucy, "Have you ever thought about going back to school? Learning new things?" Lucy shook her head. "No. Life has been hard. I never had the chance." Daniel smiled. "It is never too late. If you want, I can help." Lucy looked surprised. "You would do that for me?" "Of course. You deserve the best." Joseph looked up and said, "Auntie Lucy, I want you to learn too. So you can teach me." Lucy laughed, her eyes shining. "You are a clever boy." Their days were full of small moments like these: laughter, learning, and growing together. But the city of Lagos is a place of both dreams and challenges. As their bond deepened, they would face many obstacles ahead. For now, Daniel felt a new hope in his heart. With Lucy and Joseph by his side, he was ready for whatever came next. Days turned into weeks, and Daniel's visits to Lucy's small food stall became a part of his daily routine. He felt lighter, happier, something he had not felt since his wife passed away. One evening, as the sun began to set, Daniel sat with Joseph and Lucy in his spacious living room. The room felt warm, filled with laughter and the smell of Lucy's homemade food. Daniel looked at Lucy, then at Joseph, and said softly, "Lucy, you have been like family to us. You cared for Joseph when I could not. You showed kindness when it was needed most." Lucy blushed and looked away, but Joseph reached for her hand. "I think," Daniel continued, "that it is time for us to make this family official." Lucy's eyes widened. "What do you mean?" Daniel smiled gently. "I want us to be a family together. Will you marry me?" Lucy's mouth opened in surprise. Tears filled her eyes. "Daniel," she whispered, "I never dreamed this could happen to me. But yes, I will marry you. For Joseph and for us." Joseph clapped his hands happily. "Yes. We will be a family." That night, Daniel felt a peace he had not known in years. The future looked bright, a new beginning filled with love, hope, and healing. The next few weeks were filled with joyful excitement. Daniel and Lucy began planning their wedding. It was not a grand event with thousands of guests, just a warm, simple celebration with close family and friends. Lucy, who had never imagined herself as a bride, found herself dreaming of white lace, flowers, and happiness. Daniel helped her pick out a beautiful dress, one that made her glow with confidence. Joseph was the happiest of all. "I will be the ring bearer," he declared, practicing walking down the aisle with his white cane. Daniel called his business partners and close friends to invite them. They were surprised at first, but all were happy to celebrate Daniel's new beginning. One afternoon, as they sat together in Daniel's office, Lucy looked around at the busy city skyline. "Daniel, thank you for believing in me. For seeing the real me." Daniel smiled. "Lucy, you are the strongest person I know. Together, we will build a beautiful life." The wedding day arrived on a warm, sunny afternoon. The little chapel was filled with laughter, music, and love. Lucy walked down the aisle with a shy smile, and Daniel waited with tears in his eyes. When they said "I do," Joseph clapped loudly and shouted, "My family is complete." It was a day none of them would forget, a new chapter, a fresh start full of hope. After the wedding, Daniel, Lucy, and Joseph started their new life together. Their home was filled with laughter, warmth, and hope. But life in Lagos was not always easy. Lucy had to learn to balance her new role as a wife and stepmother while still running her food business. Daniel continued to manage his busy company, but he made sure to spend quality time with his family. One day, as Lucy prepared her food stall, some people from the neighborhood came by. Some were friendly, but others whispered behind her back, "Why is this woman marrying a rich man? She is not from their class." Lucy heard the gossip but stayed strong. "I will not let their words stop me," she told Daniel one evening. Daniel held her close. "People will always talk, but our family is what matters." Joseph, though young, understood more than he showed. He told Lucy, "Auntie Lucy, I am proud of you. You are brave." With time, Lucy's food became more popular. People began to respect her hard work and kindness. The little shop grew, and soon she was able to hire helpers. Daniel supported her every step of the way. Together, they faced the challenges of life with courage and love. Though there were difficult days, the family's bond grew stronger. They learned that true wealth comes from the heart. One of Daniel and Lucy's biggest hopes was for Joseph to get a good education. Even though Joseph was blind, they believed he could learn and achieve great things. Daniel called a special school for children with disabilities. The teachers were kind and trained to help Joseph with his studies. Lucy helped Joseph with his homework every day, reading to him and teaching him about the world. At first, Joseph was nervous. School was different, and he had to learn new ways to do things. But with Lucy and Daniel by his side, he grew more confident. One day, Joseph proudly told his parents, "I can read Braille now. I am getting better." Daniel smiled with tears in his eyes. "That is my son. You are strong and smart." Lucy hugged Joseph tightly. "We will always support you." Joseph's school journey was just beginning, but the love and patience from his family made all the difference. Every day, Joseph proved that blindness was not a barrier to dreams. One busy afternoon at Daniel's office, something unexpected happened. A young woman arrived, carrying a tray of Lucy's famous snacks. She smiled and said, "Mr. Daniel, Lucy asked me to bring you some food to try." Daniel laughed. "That is wonderful. Please, have a seat." As he tasted the snacks, he remembered the first time he had tried Lucy's cooking at the restaurant. It brought back memories warm, comforting, and full of love. His colleagues noticed something different about Daniel. He seemed happier, more relaxed. When he told them about Lucy and Joseph, they listened with respect and admiration. Daniel realized that his life had changed in more ways than one. It wasn't just about business anymore, it was about family, kindness, and hope. Lucy's small food stall had made a big difference not just in Joseph's life, but in Daniel's heart. He smiled and thought, this is only the beginning. Life continued to grow and change for Daniel, Lucy, and Joseph. Each day brought new experiences and lessons. Daniel found joy in simple moments like helping Joseph learn new sounds or watching Lucy prepare her food with care and passion. Lucy, too, grew stronger. With Daniel's support, she expanded her food business and even hired a few helpers. Her confidence blossomed, and she dreamed bigger. Joseph, always curious and eager, made friends at school and learned new skills every day. But they knew the road ahead would not always be smooth. Challenges from society and the busy city tested their strength. Yet, the family stood united. Love gave them courage. Kindness gave them hope. Together, they faced the future, hand in hand. Daniel often told Lucy, "With you and Joseph, I have everything." And Lucy smiled, knowing she was finally home. As Daniel and Lucy's family grew stronger, some people still whispered and doubted. Why would a rich man marry a poor woman? They asked. Can Lucy really take care of Joseph? Others wondered. Daniel heard the rumors but refused to let them affect him. He knew the truth that love and kindness matter more than money or status. One afternoon, Lucy came home upset after overhearing some neighbors talking. Daniel held her close and said, "Ignore them, Lucy. They don't see your heart. We know who you are." Joseph, sitting nearby, added, "Auntie Lucy, you are my hero. Don't listen to bad words." Lucy smiled through her tears. "Thank you, my family. With you, I feel strong." Their bond grew deeper as they faced the doubts together. The city might judge, but their love was unbreakable. Daniel promised, "We will build a life where kindness wins." And that was the beginning of their real journey, standing tall against the world. One sunny Saturday, Daniel, Lucy, and Joseph decided to have a small celebration at home. It was to mark Joseph's progress in school and the happiness they had built together. Lucy prepared her best dishes, filling the house with wonderful smells. Daniel set the table with care, and Joseph helped by placing flowers in a vase. Friends and neighbors who had come to respect Lucy and her family were invited. The atmosphere was warm and joyful. As they ate and laughed, Daniel stood up to speak. "I want to thank everyone for supporting us. Joseph's journey is just beginning, and with your kindness, we will succeed." Lucy smiled, holding Joseph's hand. "We are grateful for each new day together." Joseph beamed. "I'm proud to have such a family." That evening, under the soft glow of lanterns, they danced and shared stories, knowing that love had created a strong, happy home. It was a day full of hope and promise for the future. Life in Lagos was not always easy. One day, Daniel's company faced a big problem, a sudden business crisis that threatened his leadership. The pressure was high. Daniel worked late nights, making calls, and trying to save his company. Stress weighed heavy on his shoulders. At home, Lucy noticed Daniel growing tired and worried. "Daniel," she said gently, "you don't have to carry this alone. We are a family. Let us help." Joseph reached up and held Daniel's hand. "Daddy, you're strong, but you can rest too." Those words touched Daniel deeply. He realized that success was not just about business but about the people who loved him. With Lucy and Joseph's support, Daniel faced the challenge with new strength. Together, they worked through the hard times. It was not easy, but their family bond became their greatest power. After the difficult times, Daniel's company recovered. His hard work, with the love and support from Lucy and Joseph, made the difference. Life settled into a joyful rhythm. Daniel was no longer just a CEO, he was a loving husband and father. Joseph continued to learn and grow, proud of the family that believed in him. Lucy's food business blossomed, and their home was filled with warmth and laughter. One quiet evening, Daniel sat with Lucy and Joseph under the stars. He smiled and said, "I have come so far. Together, we have built a life full of love and hope." Lucy squeezed his hand. "And this is just the beginning." Joseph grinned. "I love my family." Their journey was proof that kindness and love could change lives. No matter the challenges, they faced the future as one strong, happy, and full of dreams. And so, in the heart of Lagos, a family found true happiness together. The end. Thank you so much for watching this beautiful story about Daniel, Lucy, and Joseph, a family built on love, kindness, and hope. If you enjoyed this story, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Your support means the world to me. Don't forget to leave a comment below telling me what part of the story touched you the most. I love reading your thoughts. Stay tuned for more amazing stories right here. Until next time, take care and keep spreading kindness. Bye.